Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another amazing episode of the Great Debaters Contest. This is Season 9, Central Region, Kiambu County. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. In today's debate, we will have the motion, social media is the main contribution to the rot in our society today.
In the proposition, we have PCEA Kikuyu boys.
And in the opposition, we will have Apostolic Carmel High School. Poser number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Social media. Social media. How many people are dying because of this social media? My name is Kefa Monene from the PCEA Kikuyu High School. Proposing the motion, social media is the main contribution to the rot in our society. What is social media? Social media is the use of the internet and its technological advancements like Facebook, WhatsApp, Tinder. Well, rot is moral decay. I have a magazine, a Nairobian magazine dated 10th May 2019. Page 6 of it is talking about 3 people performing sex. In the street, they call it a threes. I cannot even mention it because it is a rot in the society. How many people are reading this magazine? I guess so many. How many people have replicated what is here? I guess so many. What can that lead? That can lead to sexually transmitted diseases. It can lead to HIV and AIDS. On to my first point, which is ruining of reputations. Our opponents. I would like to urge you, please, check at what you post on that social media. Remember, you will not remain teenagers for the rest of your lives. One day you will become parents. So that post you post may come to haunt you. Remember that. I remember a person by the name Jimmy Gate. He is a musician. He once cried on social media because the weight of abusive language being spread was too heavy for him to bear. What can that lead? That can lead to depression, can lead to suicide. Businesses also may lose reputation as someone or a competitor may fund a few personnel just to spread false information about a particular company. What can that lead? That can lead that company to losing their customers, isn't it? On to my second point, brain disorder. I was once listening to a particular radio station, and I heard a woman complaining that what his husband does, he just goes to his house very late at night, and he starts using the laptop, visiting the various social media platforms like WhatsApp, even forgetting that he has a child. What will that child feel? The child lacks someone to educate him. The child lacks someone to talk to. The woman was also complaining that the husband had even forgotten his God-given ability for her. What can this lead, surely?
First opposer, you have 3 minutes.
Ignorance is bliss. You are all in bliss. Gari ni mabati. I repeat, gari ni mabati. Now, these are words from the famous Kenyan endometriosis survivor, Njambi Koikai, who was advocating against road accidents. Now, something that is not known to many people is vehicles do not cause accidents. Vehicles do not cause accidents. It is the people who cause accidents. Now, this is a perfect illusion of our society today. Now, social media is a tool. Social media is not, I repeat, not the cause of rot. Rather, it is the abuse of social media that brings about the problem. So what is social media? Social media is a collective of online communication channels dedicated to community-based input, interaction, content sharing, and collaboration. Now, a few types of social media are Facebook. According to the State Social Report 2019, Facebook is the biggest social media platform that has more than 2 million people. YouTube, a video sharing platform where users watch 1 billion hour videos every day. WhatsApp, a messaging app used by people in over 180 countries. Other examples of social media platforms are Instagram, WeChat, and so more. Rot. What is rot? Rot is moral decadence in this context. Or alternatively, it is the less futile actions. Less futile actions in the sense of poor decision making, poor parenting, low self-esteem, lack of sex education, oppression in terms of the government, and so much more problems. Now, where can we get solutions to these problems? Guess what? Social media. Now, number one, social media can be used in creating awareness. Now, Twitter is a good platform for creating awareness. In Kenya, we do have Boniface Mwangi, who is a social rights activist and a human rights activist who does most of his work on Twitter. Now, moving on to the United States. Alyssa Milano, who is an actress, tweeted, "If you have been sexually harassed or assaulted, write, quote unquote, me too, as a reply to these tweets." Now, these two simple words, me too, have become a viral rallying cry for millions of women and some men who are fed up with the blatant use of power. This is from a recent study by Pew Research Center, found that me too was used more than 19 million times on Twitter. This is according to www.usatoday.com. Another thing about social media is that it's a platform for creating online jobs, such as social media marketing. This is where a marketer controls the pages for other people and advertise products on the social media app. What is not known to many is that the least paid social manager employee is paid $30,000, translating to 30,000 Kenyan shillings, according to www.socialmediajobs.com. Social media is just a tool. Social media is not wicked. The people using social media are wicked. Now, I would consider it rude if I kept my identity sealed. So in case you were wondering, from Apostolic Carmel Girls Secondary School, this is Amanda Mulanda. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
Sitasimama maovu yakitawala, sitasimama maovu yakitawala. Once a wise man told me, if you want to abstain from the devil, avoid his market. And this market, in this case, is not the market back at your villages. It's this social media. And it's by that reason I'm standing firm to make you aware, I mean all of you, of how this devil has used this social media and making it to become his market. From the PCEA High School, I'm Francis Karaoke, strongly proposing the motion, social media is the main contribution to the rot in our society today. On to my first point, plagiarism. Plagiarism simply means copying another person's ideas, work, and making it, or making other people believe that it's your work. Understand, our university students are graduating with first-class honors and are unable to deliver it to the communities, that is, the society. And it's with this reason that our markets, I mean the upcoming markets, are getting to have a difference. Reason being, you find that there are two groups. This graduate is doing the learning online, yeah. But again, all they do is everything is at their disposal online. The same place where you're finding the education is the same place you're finding the answers. And again, those people who are partaking the technical courses deliver through their skills. And there comes in the difference. And that's why we are having low productivity of products, because they don't have, I mean, those people who are doing the learning online are not having those critical thinking skills to be able to determine on how, maybe in case, or on how a business can be able to make higher profits than the other. On to my second point, glamorized drugs and substance abuse. Yes, glamorization. It means making something bad appear attractive or exciting. And what drugs am I talking about? Heroin, bang, cocaine, mention them. Our youths, our young generation, I mean, we are all in the house. have gotten to be lured into the perpetual use of drugs. I mean, how are some people finding it so positive to use drugs and posting of videos, not even videos of others doing it, of them themselves doing it, posting it online? My wonder would be how a parent would pay school fees for the child so that she can go to school and get taught about how and the effects of using drugs, and yet come to the world where you're supposed to emulate from our old, whom themselves are the ones who are posting those videos using the drugs. I rest my case.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
You see this flower? It has blossomed. It is so pure, so fresh. But why has it blossomed? Because of what we put into it. Look at this other flower, for example. It is crushed. Why? Because we fed the wrong thing into it. We did not pour water into it. We did not feed it with nutrients. That's why it's so crushed. And that's why I want to tell you today, social media isn't the problem. The people using social media, however, are the problem. Shannon L. Alder once said, blame doesn't empower you. It keeps you stuck in a place you don't want to be because you don't want to make the temporary but painful decision to be responsible for the outcome of your own life's happiness. I am Lori Amunga, here to strongly oppose the motion that states social media is the main cause of rot in our society today. So you talk about how people take drugs. Let me ask you, did social media come to you, whisper in your ear, oh, hey, bro, I think you should go to social media and look at how people use drugs? Did it come and whisper in your ear, oh, hey, I think you should go online and search how drugs are found? Where would I get drugs? Is that how you found where social media is? No, your actions were influenced by the environment around you. The person who created social media did not create it with an intention of people misusing it. The person created it with an intention of making the world a social platform. But the people who have the social media platforms, they use it irresponsibly. They use it to degrade themselves. But not everyone uses social media for these strong purposes. It depends with your social standards. What do you believe in? If you do believe in drugs, if you want to take drugs, then you will. But if you know what is right, if you know to stand for what is right, then you will limit yourself. You will not go to social media and start using drugs, because anyway, no one forced you to. Unemployment, according to www.thetide.com, is the major cause of immorality. In Nigeria, more than 10 million people who are able-bodied are jobless. They remain idle, and as the adage says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Unemployment has created an idle situation for many, and this has given rise to immorality like prostitution, fornication. We have violence. All this just because of unemployment. Immorality is also an increase today since parents are failing in their duty towards their children. The book of Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 says, the parents should train up their children in the way of the Lord, and when they are getting old, they will not depart from it. Social media helps to solve the problem of poor parenting due to channels like Parent Plus Kid, which helps parents and kids to communicate and understand each other. Social media, it is not a weapon. Social media doesn't murder. Social media is like a gun. A gun does not murder. It is the people who use it, the person who used the gun to murder, that kills. Thank you.
For the question session, the proposers have been asked, what is the greater influencer of drug use? Is it social media in itself or free will of the people? The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked, considering that the problem is that people post vices on social media, what should be done to restrict the exposure of other people to those negative influences? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Do not judge a book by its cover. That's what they say in English. When I tell you about this, I'm not judging a book just by its cover. I've studied deep into it, and believe me, it's not good. I'll take you to a place I've been before, the social media. Believe me, it's a menace to our society. From the PCEA Kikuyu High School, I'm Dennis Jogona, proposing the motion which says that social media is the main contribution to the rot of our society today. To your question, you've asked if social media is not a catalyst. I'll tell you this way. Social media has overcome and has even gone over parents, and parents are using the social media. They are stuck in the social media. Drug abuse is one of the issues that is to be addressed to the children and warning the children about drug abuse. But where are these parents? They are stuck in the social media. This is why children will find solace in social media. And what does social media teach? For example, remember the 420 thing. It was advocating for the use of drugs. This is what the social media teaches. On to my first point, security issues. Security agencies now have personal information and details about people. This information can be used against them. For example, recently, there was the Dazit attack. These criminals were said to have used the social media in communicating and on how to execute their plans. On 2015, Westgate Mall was attacked. This also was said to be that the social media was the major platform where they were discussing on how to execute this plan. This is what the social media is teaching us. On to my second point, online relationships. Now, social media platforms have given people a chance to mingle and interact using the social media. You have a virtual partner with whom you are in relationship with. You can be in a relationship and yet you've never met that person. This is why we are finding some of these girls being slain due to you have not known the person very well, yet you are in a relationship with them. The social media, the youth don't find parents to talk to, as my earlier proposer said. This is why you find the youth posting irritating stuff on the social media. For example, the Ifikie Wazazi. We all know it did not prosper because of its positivity, but it prospered because of the bad things it entailed. I leave you by saying that, remember, social media lives with their thirst for more. And before the thirst is over, you discover that the price tag is heavier than any mortgage your dreams carries. And this price tag may be our future. That's why I strongly propose this motion. Thank you.
Proposer, you have 3 minutes to respond.
I am here to enlighten you about everything that's going on in the current world, because apparently we're getting into a technological phase of our lives. Isn't that right? And in case you're wondering, I am Nian Shlihao from Apostolic Carmel School, here to strongly oppose the motion that social media is the main contributor of rot in our society. And as you said, do not judge the book by its cover. So, first on to answering the question. You asked me if lack of restriction on social media is the one causing the rot. Well, actually, our school is engineering an app called Block Me app, which restricts your usage on social media, therefore creating a better society and lack of addiction, and also limiting what you know, because there is also something called information overload. And that is something we cannot prevent, because we cannot come to you and teach you about your limits. That is something that comes from within you. And 2, you have mentioned Ifikie Wazazi. And I want you to tell me, if you are a self-respecting human being, how will you post nude photos of yourself? That just tells me this person she doesn't have self-esteem. That's why she wants people to like her nude photos or his nude photos for gender equality. And that's why she wants people to follow her because of the bad thing she's doing, not knowing that you don't have to care what other people think about you. So doing the wrong thing and posting it on social media is making others blame social media, where actually a very wise person said that once you start blaming other people is when you become a failure. And apparently it's becoming very fashionable to blame social media for our failures. If our parents taught us to be self-respecting, self-disciplined, maybe we would learn to accept ourselves the way we are. And solutions like, you said you might not find a parent to talk to. Well, social media provides, through YouTube, videos with counselors that help you get through your depressive state or whatever you're going through. And there are also Bible readings on YouTube. Read them, Quran readings. There are so many benefits, so many teachings that we can learn from social media, but we are not ready to accept it because we think it's too complicated for us to understand. But actually, it's not so complicated. And I can attest to that. And social media also promotes education through schooling. I'm sure many of you have heard of coding schools online. Not online, through social media. School apps, like for example, Khan Academy, helps you expand your education, which also helps us achieve SDG number 4, which is quality education. Students from all around the world get to come together and expand their education set. It helps you learn more. So I can sit there and listen to you tell me that social media is the main cause of rot in our society because I am a living example that social media helps us. Thank you.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to wrap up your case.
Oh yes, our opponents. This social media has brought about rot in our society. And let me just tend to remind you, we all possess humanity. And what we understand by human, as in about humans, we all try to prove the right wrong. It's in this social media, we are all having everything at our disposal. But again, the disadvantages are outdoing the advantages. And I would ask you a question. What is more important to you as a person? Money, fame, or the moral values? I understand money cannot purchase life, not even principles. It's in this social media that we've faced lots of deaths as a result of what I've just talked about usage of and drug abuse. We understand that we are already having a sick world. And I would all ask you, we stand firm and fight for what we love, our society, our youths, you being included. And I'm sure we'll have a greater future. I rest my case.
Opposers, you have 1 minute to wrap up your case.
In 2011, the UK's Department for Education found that children who are exposed to bad parenting are twice more likely to misbehave before being exposed to social media. Social media helps to improve on SDG number 1, which is no poverty due to job creation, quality education, which is SDG number 4, due to online studies, for example, the Khan Academy. It also helps in SDG number 17, which is partnerships to achieve one goal, because there is cooperation of people from around the globe. And as I finish, Chris Buru, in the morning as we came, just said, you guys should follow our social media handle. If Chris likes it, then who are you to tell me otherwise? And yet, he's the one wearing a Great Debaters t-shirt. Thank you.
PCEA Kikuyu. The major issue with me on your side is the fact that you did not give citations to most of your arguments. It looked like it was maybe hearsay or something you thought about. But then I'll go to Kefa. You talked to us about the Nairobian being part of social media. I don't know. maybe social media is Instagram, okay? Then the second person, Francis, you mentioned something to plagiarism. Your point didn't go that deep for me really to understand how educational plagiarism is, for example, connected to Instagram or something like that. But then you gave a point of drug abuse, which was okay. Then the last person, Dennis, I didn't feel like you clearly answered the question from the audience, but then you went ahead and gave us examples of the Dusit attack. And also you talked to us about Ifikie Wazazi, which was a plus on your side.
To the girls, that was a good way of bringing it across. What I see from you is that you decided to look at it on the positive angle of social media. And so all your submissions were purely on positive. The question still stands out when you look at the motion. Social media is the main contribution to the rot in our societies. So there's a whole part of this motion, rot in society. So the question will be, if then social media is not, because you're trying to tell us it's not, and it has its positives which you mentioned, what is there? Okay? And I think that's a question needed to bring across, that there are many other platforms that can do that. However, just to quickly just point out one few things, I think L'Oreal, cross-examination as well, you did not play that role. That was played by Neon. And I think Neon stood out because of that reason, where you cross-examined, gave additional points to your team, and I think you have a very good way of argument and reasoning. The question to you is this, and I think I've already asked this, so just look at your time management. All the best to both teams.
The moment of truth is here with us. PCEA, Kikuyu boys, the judges awarded you 65%. Let's give them a round of applause. Apostolic Carmel High School, you earned yourself 67%, making you the winners of this debate. Congratulations to both schools for a job well done.
I guess, Esperanza, the take-home message today is the problem is not social media. It's how it's used and the people who use them.
Indeed, that's the truth. So in that vein, don't forget to follow all our social media platforms and keep the conversation going. The hashtag is GDC for SDGs. Let's use social media for something good. I've been your host, Esperanza Kapanga.
Until next time, I've been Chris Boru. Stay tuned.